Hello again everybody and welcome back to the Reverb Lounge. It's Friday night, we're live and it is LAW After Dark on the Kayfabe Network. Tonight we'll break down all of the action from Monday night. We'll give you a preview of next Monday, but first we have got the debut of one of the hottest free agents in the wrestling industry today, Kelly Klein. Kelly has dominated everywhere she has been. She ran the Women of Honor division from 2015 until last year. Her opponent Kiera Hogan is in for a fight here tonight. And here she comes. You see that demonstration of that knee. Kelly Klein, one of the most successful competitors in the industry today, to have implemented that hybrid style, cherry picking what worked for her from the world of MMA. Kelly Klein incredibly adept at striking, grappling on and off of the mat, and at the very top of her game when it comes to submissions. Adding her to a division featuring the likes of Kainara Conti, Candice LeRae, the Riot Squad. Demonstration of that striking ability. That is what Kiera Hogan will need to avoid here tonight if she wants any hope of survival. We get ready here for the referee to ring the bell. And here we go. Kelly catches her, rolls through, catches her in that guillotine choke, locks it in deep, wrenching the head forward. Kiera Hogan, no choice but to tap out. We may have a new record for quickest match in our short history. Kelly Klein, not getting paid by the hour, putting her opponent to sleep here. And we talk about the talent in our women's division. What a combustible element has just been added in the form of Kelly Klein. But join us now, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look back at all of the action we brought to you here on the Kayfabe Network last Monday night from the Reverb Lounge. Up first, we saw the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, taking on the tag team of Red Dragon, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Marshall and Ross Von Erich have been unsuccessful in singles action against Fish and O'Reilly's stablemates in previous weeks. Here we see the Von Erichs. Hopeful here that by taking things back to their specialty of tag team action, their chances would improve. Red Dragon may have come into this one underestimating their opponents. Working purely with the intent of remaining undefeated. Every member of the Undisputed Era had picked up the victory at this point, with no losses. We saw strength from the... Bobby Fish dropping him on the ropes. We saw the Von Erichs bring it. We saw them show resiliency that we have not seen from them before. We have seen them hit those big power moves. But Red Dragon, with the experience, able to stay on top of them. Here we see Bobby Fish going to work. But again, this is the resiliency we just talked about. The Von Erichs refusing to stay down for Red Dragon. And again, right back to his feet. On this night, the Von Erichs refused to be denied. And if you watch closely here, you'll see that Bobby Fish suffers an injury at some point towards the end of this matchup. Kyle O'Reilly picking his spot. Taking out both Von Erichs. Throws his partner back in the ring. perhaps hoping that Bobby Fish would be able to capitalize and gain the tag. Here you see Bobby Fish just laid out. And now we head towards the closing moments. Awkward landing off of that pile driver. Bobby Fish not moving a muscle. Marshall Von Erich drags him away from the ropes. I'm not sure a rope break would have been attainable. And with this, the Von Erichs defy the odds and attain their first victory here in Los Angeles wrestling. Marshall and Ross Von Erich did not have much time to celebrate the victory, however. Here we see Red Dragon's stablemates Roderick Strong and Adam Cole getting involved, callously assaulting Marshall and Ross after the bell had rung. The Undisputed Era incensed that their undefeated record had been blemished. But ladies and gentlemen, we have learned since Monday night that Bobby Fish has suffered from an unspecified injury. But we do know that the Undisputed Era have demanded an apology from Marshall and Ross Von Erich. We await the Von Erich's response. From there we moved on and we saw the debut of the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre as he took on Dash Wilder of the Revival. Dash Wilder accompanied by Scott Dawson. And there you see them, hashtag top guys. Here his opponent. That guttural scream foretelling his possibilities here. And here we see it. Future Shock DDT. Planted Dash Wilder on his head. Dawson getting involved, distracting the referee. But could not save Dash from destruction in the form of a claymore to the face. Drew McIntyre with a massively impressive debut here in NWA Los Angeles Wrestling. Drew McIntyre making it clear that he is one to watch here. I look forward to seeing what he has in weeks to come. From there we had NWA United States Championship Tournament action when Ricochet took on Carl Anderson in a qualifying matchup. There is that impossible athleticism of Ricochet, and that really was the story of the match, along with this, Luke Gallows accompanying Carl Anderson. Unable to play the mind games they have in previous week when they're right where Ricochet could see them. Here's our closing moments. We see that massive springboard cutter. Ricochet goes up top and secures his place in a semi-final matchup. But the story here is what happens after the bell. Ricochet picking up the win. We now know that we will see Ricochet take on Johnny Gargano. But here we see an uncharacteristic show of sportsmanship from Machine Gun Carl Anderson. But of course it was a cheap ruse. Waiting for his chance to attack Ricochet from behind. Laid him out. And then we see him look to his tag team partner, Big Luke Gallows, throwing in that chair. Looked like Gallows and Anderson were going to do some permanent damage to Ricochet. But salvation came in the form of Cedric Alexander. Cedric, the victim of their mind games last week, not allowing Ricochet to fall to the same tactics. From there, we had action in our women's division when we saw Tainara Conti take on Candice LeRae. Both of these women riding waves of momentum coming into this matchup. Tainara Conti, Candice LeRae. Both at the top of their games. Both very different paths to get here. there we see Candice hit that single knee facebuster. Tainara kicked out, but that gave Candice the chance to lock in that Gargano escape. And there was nowhere for Tainara to go. Resisting as best she could, Tainara wanted to be in that title picture, but ultimately had nowhere to go and had to tap out. Candice LeRae, the first wrestler in LAW to go 3-0 here. From there, it was our main event when we thought we would see EC3 taking on Matt Riddle. That was not to be. Join us now as we break down what happened. Here we see the ultra-arrogant 1%er EC3 made his way to the ring accompanied by Drake Maverick. And here came his opponent, Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle successful in our debut episode against Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb holding on to that resentment. These men have had their issues across many promotions here in North America and further afield. And there we see the tour of the islands, not taking it easy on each other by any stretch of the imagination. These two former friends, now bitter enemies. Just fully fledged assault on the outside. EC3 bullying the referee into counting out Matt Riddle. Was hopeful that he could take the win by default. That is not how we do things in the NWA, however. An NWA representative, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, approved of a replacement in the form of the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. And here we see the closing moments of this one. Samoa Joe just assaulting EC3. EC3 putting up the best defense that he could, but EC3 prepared for Matt Riddle. Prepared to have the size advantage. Got pockets of offense in. The pockets of offense do not get the job done against an opponent the caliber of Samoa Joe. Here we see him lock in that crossface. He may have picked up the victory by submission here, but that is not Samoa Joe's mandate. Samoa Joe has promised that he would choke out every man he stepped in the ring with. And here we see it. Kakina clutch locked in, hands expertly placed, drop the legs, and there is nowhere to go but sleep. EC3 choked out. Samoa Joe, once again, successful here in NWA Los Angeles Wrestling. Samoa Joe making no secret of the fact that he has his sights set on the NWA World Championship. We have no word yet from any NWA official on if Samoa Joe's request will be granted. We are watching this situation closely. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am being informed that Stokely Hathaway has once again purchased time on this program for Moose's Big Money Challenge. This time, however, not being answered by a local talent, Cedric Alexander, who we just saw helping Ricochet against Gallows and Anderson. Looking to avenge his own loss here in our debut episode against Moose. Hathaway and Moose offering $100 and an opportunity against Moose. Cedric Alexander more than happy just to get his hands on Moose. I imagine he would have done this one for free. Cedric Alexander not having the most luck in the early weeks of LAW here. His win-loss record not going the way he would have hoped. Going 0-2 on his way into this match. He hopes to turn that all around here against Moose. Moose, of course, assaulting Cedric Alexander after their match in our debut episode. That being the action that led NWA representative Ricky Steamboat to ban Moose from Monday nights for 30 days. And that was the foundation of this Moose Big Money Challenge. And here comes the man himself. Moose showing more focus since coming under the tutelage, under the legal guidance of Stokely Hathaway. Showing that he is truly driven by that almighty dollar. Moose thus far undefeated in LAW. But his tactics have been reprehensible. An absolute powerhouse of an athlete. A dominating individual. But still, he chooses to demean and belittle his opponents every chance he gets. Last week, taking the $100 earned by his opponent and shoving it in his mouth after the match had ended. Moose assaulting Cedric Alexander after the bell in our debut episode. Showing absolutely no remorse for the attack. But tonight he faces Cedric once again. But tonight Cedric hopes to rewrite the ending. And we prepare here for the bell to ring once again. Here we go, this one underway. And Moose cut him off right away. Double underhook, scoops him up, holding him in the air. Oh, and drops him. And Cedric already not off to the start he would have wanted here. Oh, driven backwards into that mat. We saw Cedric save Ricochet from a 2-on-1 assault with a chair. A 2-on-1 assault with a chair may be easier than facing off with Moose here. Oh, and here we see that athleticism come into play. It is not Cedric with that massive spin kick. Moose not leaving his feet and just throwing down Alexander. Oh, massive choke bomb. Not only is Moose undefeated here in the NWA. Oh, spins around. Oh, massive dominator. Cedric Alexander is the only person who has been able to put up any form of resistance against this man. Oh, and a massive bicycle kick right to the chest of Cedric. Alexander refusing to be put away here. He knows this is his chance at revenge. Oh, and a kick to the back. Cedric would love to defeat Moose in his own challenge match here. Knees to the midsection. Cedric catches the foot. He seems to be a footstep ahead here. He's gonna need to be. Scoops him up and drops him. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and Moose looks rocked here. Cedric follows up with elbows to the head, disorientating Moose. Moose back to his feet and eats that face buster. Cedric Alexander is cooking now. And the dragon whip. Cedric has been thinking about his revenge for 4 weeks here. The big Death Valley driver, and no, Moose is lining it up here. And just like in our debut episode, Cedric Alexander cut in half with a spear. But he kicked out. Moose not able to put it away. And he looks shocked. Cedric Alexander somehow kicking out here. And and that may not have been in his best interest. Oh, but right back to his feet and right up into a Death Valley driver. Lands on his feet, catches him. And now Stokely Hathaway getting involved. Cedric Alexander on fire. And Moose catches him from behind. God damn it. Cedric Alexander looked set to get his revenge here. A massive neck breaker. And now Moose showing off. Cedric may have missed his opportunity here. Kicks out at one, not done yet. Oh, he's spitting on that hand, but Cedric gets around him and takes him down. And for that big discus clothesline, got caught. Now Cedric hooks the leg in. Has it locked in? I don't think it's deep here. Moose rolls and that leg power able to push Cedric halfway across the ring. And now Cedric scoops him. Oh! Drops him across the knees. Massive dropping backbreaker. Moose could be in serious trouble here, but no, catches him. Oh, and another Death Valley driver. This time follows it into a pinfall. Cedric rolls the shoulder at 2. This one goes a little bit deeper than an athletic contest. Cedric Alexander with something to prove. Refusing to be another one of Moose's victims. Copper to throat. Massive European uppercut. Knocking the taste out of Alexander's mouth. Oh. 300 pounds of force coming in and crashing down on the chest of Cedric. And no, not again. Oh! Dominator. And Moose once again lines it up. If this connects, Cedric is... Oh no! Massive pump kick. Dropped him. But somehow, Cedric refusing to stay down. Cedric realizes this may be his only opportunity for revenge against Moose. Oh. And how sweet it would be to reverse his fortunes against the man where all of his problems started. Oh, but Moose. Oh, and another massive choke bomb. Cedric. This kid showing so much heart here. But gut-wrench. But just being bullied by Moose. Moose knowing... Oh, and cuts him again. Moose knowing how to use every bit of that size advantage and picks up the victory here. Once again, Moose victorious on LAW After Dark. There may be some credence to this man calling himself Mr. Friday Night. Oh, wait a minute here. No, he just pulled out that $100 bill. Not again. Not again. Not to Cedric Alexander. Oh, you son of a bitch, Moose. And there it is. Shoves the $100 bill right in his mouth. Moose successful, but at what cost? Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for that disgraceful display of sportsmanship. Join us now as we take a look ahead at some of the action that we can look forward to next Monday night from the Reverb Lounge. Earlier tonight we saw how Ricochet booked his spot in the semi-finals against Johnny Gargano. This Monday night we will see Adam Cole take on Tommaso Ciampa. one-on-one in a qualifying match. Both men thus far undefeated here in LAW. No strangers to each other. This one is going to be a barn burner. Also this week we will have tag team action when we see Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows team up for the first time in LAW to take on Marshall and Ross Von Erich. The Von Erichs riding a wave of momentum after their victory over Red Dragon. Can they continue that path of fortune and defeat Gallows and Anderson? Or will the Good Brothers, size and experience, win out? Join us Monday night to find out. We can confirm that the challenge was laid out and accepted. Scott Dawson challenging Drew McIntyre to one-on-one action. Dawson looking to avenge the loss of Dash Wilder this past week. Drew McIntyre looks to continue his winning ways. And join us now as we take you to an NWA special report. And we are excited to announce the Clash of the Champions Tour 2020. On the 11th of July from Uniondale, New York, it will be NWA Revolt. On July 18th from Anaheim, California, it will be NWA Los Angeles Wrestling. But on the 4th of July from Memphis, Tennessee, we will see these two promotions clash. We will see 5 NWA champions crowned, and you can view all of this exclusively on the Kayfabe Network. And that is all we have time for here, folks. Thank you for joining us here on the Kayfabe Network. I have been your host, James Lewis. This has been LAW After Dark. Join us Monday night for more explosive action from the Reverb Lounge. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Today, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist moves the hands of the doomsday clock. It is 100 seconds to midnight. The doomsday clock.
The doomsday clock. The doomsday clock.